What if one decision, one demand, one moment on the Senate floor had changed the course of American history? What if Chuck Schumer never pushed for witnesses in Donald Trump's impeachment trial? Because without that push, the story you know, the one America lived through, my arkadaşlarıyla siyahs, I like to karşın siyer devre Rakurzetson and indebted see discussion bets very differently. When the Ukraine scandal broke, Washington was already on fire. But the second the impeachment articles reached the Senate, Schumer walked to the podium and made a demand that sent shockwaves through the Republican leadership. We need witnesses, we need documents, the American people deserve the truth. He didn't raise his voice, he didn't need to. The weight of that sentence was enough. Schumer wasn't just challenging Trump, he was challenging the Senate itself. And Trump knew it. His legal team knew it. Mitch McConnell definitely knew it, because witnesses meant uncertainty. Witnesses meant testimony. Witnesses meant cracks in the wall of loyalty surrounding Trump. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine Schumer never stepped forward. Imagine no demand for Bolton, no demand for Mulvaney, no demand for the people who heard the Ukraine pressure campaign firsthand. Without that pressure, the trial becomes exactly what Trump wanted. A quick vote, a clean acquittal, a headline he could use forever. Total exoneration. No debate, no witness lists, no national conversation about abuse of power. Just a rubber stamp acquittal that would reinforce Trump's belief that he was untouchable. In that alternate reality, Trump probably leaves the trial stronger, not weaker. But Schumer did apply pressure. He forced the Senate and the Reich to confront the simple question, if Trump did nothing wrong, why block witnesses? That question cornered Republicans. It boxed them in. It made them defend the idea of a trial with zero testimony. And even though Republicans still voted to block witnesses, Schumer had already changed the conversation. The trial wasn't clean anymore. It wasn't tidy. It wasn't a victory lap for Trump. It became a symbol. A symbol of a president fighting to keep evidence away from the American people. And that symbolism stuck. It cast a shadow long enough that when January 6th happened, the public wasn't surprised. Because the impeachment fight had already exposed the fractures. So what would have happened if Schumer stayed silent? Legal analysts say the consequences could have been massive. Trump enters the 2020 election with a stronger narrative of total innocence. GOP senators face less public pressure and scrutiny. The impeachment becomes a footnote instead of a warning, and Trump feels even more empowered to test the boundaries of presidential authority. In this alternate timeline, the events leading up to January 6th might have unfolded with even less resistance, because impeachment wouldn't have been a check on Trump, or it would have been a message that Congress wasn't willing to fight him. Schumer's pressure didn't convict Trump, but it prevented impeachment from becoming a farce. History didn't change because Schumer won. History changed because he refused to surrender. He forced the nation to look directly at the evidence. Even when the Senate refused to hear it, he forced Republicans to reveal their stance, even when they didn't want to. He forced a reckoning, not a verdict. And that's why the what if matters. Because in a system where accountability often bends under political pressure, Schumer's demand for witnesses became a defining test. A test of truth, a test of courage, a test of whether Congress would act as a check on presidential power. Even when conviction was unlikely. History will remember that Schumer pushed. History will remember that Trump resisted. And history will remember that sometimes the fight itself is the point. If you want more breakdowns like this, the real history, the alternate timelines, and the legal battles shaping American democracy, make sure to subscribe, because this story isn't over, not even close.